Hello everyone, welcome to PRP Coding YouTube channel. I am Raveendran Pillai. This is part 3 of EntityFramework Core for MongoDB. In this session, I shall explain how to modify records in MongoDB using EntityFramework Core in ASP.NET 7 Minimal API. So let's start.
In part 2, we learned how to fetch and remove a record by object ID from MongoDB using EntityFramework Core. Now, if you want to know how this project is configured and how to perform the read, write, and delete operations, I highly recommend to watch part 1, EntityFramework Core with MongoDB, and part 2, fetch and remove record by object ID from MongoDB using EntityFramework Core. The links are shared in the description below. Now let me open the program.cs file and add the endpoint to modify the products collection. The update endpoint code is a combination of post and get endpoints. So let me paste the code here. Here you can see that I have used the app.mapput. Here 3 parameters are there. The first parameter is the ID, which is passed in the request URL. The second parameter is product, which is coming from the request body. And the third parameter is I have injected the MongoDB context to perform the DB operations. First, we will go and try to pass this ID to an object ID. If it is not successful, return bad request. If it is successful, first we will go and check whether there is a product with this object ID exists in the MongoDB database. If the product does not exist, return not found. If the product exists, go and replace the existing product name, description, and price with this product name, description, and price that we passed in the request body. The context.products.update will mark all the 3 fields as modified, and the context.savechanges will make sure that this record is updated in the MongoDB database. Now, let me go and run this application and test this endpoint via Postman. The application is building, and here you can see that it is listening in port number 5000. So let me switch to Postman. Here I have already created a request named update product. So let me click on that. It's loading. Yes, this is a put method with HTTP localhost 5000/products. And here we need to pass the product ID. For that, let me open the MongoDB Compass here. Here we have a record with Apple product, iPhone 15 Pro with the price is 1,59,000.25. So let me copy this ID and switch back to Visual Studio Code and paste the ID over here. Now let me close this. Let me put the response down. Yeah, let me expand this body. So here, what I'm going to do is let me go and rename this product as iPhone 15 Pro Max. And let me click send. Yes, here you can see that the status is 200. So let me switch to MongoDB Compass now and reload the data. Now here you can see that it is updated with iPhone 15 Pro Max. So the record is successfully updated. Let me switch back to Visual Studio Code. Now, the problem with this approach is that even if we want to update a single field, the whole JSON document is sent in the request body. It would be better if we can perform partial updates. That means just pass only the fields that needs to be modified. This can be achieved by JSON patch. What is JSON patch? JSON patch is a format for describing changes to a JSON document. It can be used to avoid sending a whole document when only a part has changed. When used in combination with the HTTP patch method, it allows partial updates for HTTP APIs in a standard compliant way. .NET has support for making use of JSON patch. For that, we need to install 2 NuGet packages, Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.JSON and Newtonsoft.json. So let me open the project in terminal window, open in integrated terminal and run the command .NET add package Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.JSON patch. Here I'm using the version 7.0.14 as my project is targeting .NET 7. So let me click enter. Okay, the package is getting installed. Okay, so now let me go to this project. And here you can see that it has included the package reference Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.JSON patch with version 7.0.14. Now let me install the newtonsoft.json NuGet package, run the command .NET add package newtonsoft.json, click enter. Package is getting installed. Yes, and here you can see that the newtonsoft.json package reference with version 13.0.3 is installed in this project. JSON patch is supported in ASP.NET Core Web API controller-based approach. At the time of recording this video, ASP.NET 7 Minimal API does not have built-in support for JSON patch. In order to achieve that, we need to write some custom logic. So let me open the program.cs file and add a new endpoint for the partial updates. So let me add the endpoint for the partial update. Okay, so here you can see that I have added the code app.mappatch. This is a patch with product/id. So here you can see that the first parameter is an ID. Okay, this ID is coming from the request URL. The second parameter is HTTP context. So basically HTTP context is used to read the request body. And the third parameter is the MongoDB context, which is used to perform the DB related operations. Now let me write the logic here. Let me close this. The logic is very similar to the put. Okay, so let me copy some of the code over here. So let me take it from here, Control C, and I can put it over here, Control B, sorry, here, I put, okay. So the first thing is like, okay, we will go and check, okay, whether I'm able to pass this ID. If it is successful, okay, go and get this record with this object ID. If it is not found, results.not found, product with ID is not found. Okay, so here I can say return results dot bad request. Okay, yeah. Now once we got the product, here is what we are going to change the logic. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, let me say, using var body stream is equal to new stream reader, and here I'm reading the request body. So I can say http context dot request dot body. Okay, and let me say var body is equal to await body stream dot read to end async. Okay, so this will make sure that, okay, it will read the entire body now. Okay, now let me say var result equal to JSON convert dot deserialize object. Okay, so let me deserialize it to JSON patch document. Okay, and let me pass the body here. So this JSON patch document is coming from the Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.json patch. This was the NuGet package that we installed in this project. The result variable is of type JSON patch document. It holds the information regarding the JSON patch operation, what are the fields that needs to be updated, what are the values for these fields that needs to be updated to the database. Okay, so let's continue the coding. So I can say result dot apply to, let me say, existing product. So what does this mean? It means that go and apply the changes in result to the existing product. In the result, it holds the fields that needs to be updated and the values that needs to be updated for these fields. Okay, so now let me go and update the context. I can say context dot update. I can pass the existing product. This will mark the fields in the existing products as modified. And finally, I can say await context dot save changes async. This will make sure that this record is updated in the database. And finally, I can say return results.ok existing product. That's it. Now let me run this application and test this via Postman. Okay, the application is running and it is listening in port number 5000. So let me switch to Postman. Here you can see that I have created a new request named partial update product, which is a patch request. So let me click on that. It's loading. Here you can see that it is an HTTP patch with HTTP localhost 5000/products with a product ID. Let me close this. Let me switch to the MongoDB Compass. Here you can see that we have a record with description Apple product, iPhone 15 Pro Max, and the price is 1,59,000.25. And this is the object ID. Now, let me switch to the Visual Studio Code and let me click on this body. Here you can see that we have a different request body. As I mentioned, JSON patch is a standard, so we need to pass it that format. Here, the path specifies the field that needs to be updated. So here I have given the field as price. Now, the second one is OP. OP means the operation. So here it is a replace operation. And the third is the value that needs to be updated for this field. And I have given a value of 1,49,000. So let me click on this send. Here you can see it's a 200 status. And let me switch to the MongoDB Compass and let me reload this. And here you can see that the price is updated to 1,49,000. Now I want to update the description as well as the price. So two fields needs to be updated. Okay, so let me switch back to Visual Studio Code. So here what you have to do is copy this, put a comma, paste, and here I will mention it as description, and the value is, let me say, this is an Apple product. Okay, let's give the price as 1,69,000 this time, and let me click on this send button. Okay, the status is 200. So let me switch back to MongoDB Compass. Okay, so now let me reload this. And here you can see that the description is changed to this is an Apple product and the price is 1,69,000. So we learned how to modify records in MongoDB using EntityFramework Core.
So finally, we reached the end of this session. If you find this video helpful, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned for the next updates. Thank you.